Welcome back to Keeping Score. We got a lot to get into this week, so we'll start with the MLB trade deadline. I think signing deadline for rookies also.
Yeah.
Apparently the Mets just got rid of. They got this guy Kumar Rocker, who was like a pitcher for Vanderbilt or whatever, who was the best team and he was the best pitcher, but he had elbow issues, so they let him go. Anyway, that's all I really have for the rookies, but a lot of trades. A lot of good action. The Yankees, currently not in the playoffs. I can't remember the last time they haven't been in the playoffs.
How many games out?
I'm not sure. I know they're not even the first team to they're the fourth team for the wild card.
How many games are left in the season?
I think there's about 60 or 70. And I think they're 3 or 4 games back from actually being in a wild card spot. But I don't know. I mean, these two guys obviously are going to make a difference. Joey Gallo, obviously, and Anthony Rizzo to the Yankees. Javi Baez to the Mets.
Yeah, he had a crazy home run last night.
He did. I saw that. That was excellent. I am a Mets fan. I'm so happy about this. Yeah, he had a huge home run that turned into a crazy extra innings game where the Mets ended up winning. And, man, this might be the year for the Mets. Adam Frazier to the Padres. That infield is wild. I also saw that infield is crazy now. It's Tatis, Machado, Jake Cronenworth, and now Adam Frazier.
They're in the playoffs?
They're definitely going to make the playoffs. Yeah, that division is Padres, Dodgers, Giants. The Giants are leading it. The Dodgers and Padres obviously are really good.
Yeah.
All three of those teams are going to make it in one division. That's how, not necessarily bad the NL is, but just good that division is. So yeah, infield is wild. I also heard that Scherzer was going there. That's what I had thought, but apparently no. Word got back. Trey Turner and Scherzer in a deal to the Dodgers.
Yeah, their pitching is crazy now. Their pitching is really good.
I mean, they already had 4 all-star pitchers. Well, now I think, is it Trevor Bauer or Walker Buehler? I think it's Trevor Bauer who has sexual assault.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Allegations, and I'm not sure if he's going to play this year. But either way, that pitching staff is getting just more and more ridiculous. And a team that had probably the best hitting in baseball. Corey Seager, their shortstop's injured. They bring in Trey Turner. I mean, when he gets back, what is Trey Turner? Just a pinch runner. I mean, that team is just getting ridiculous at this point. I bet they're probably going to win it all this year. But
I thought you said it was the Mets year.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But maybe the Mets will have something to say about that. Anyway, Craig Kimbrell to the White Sox. White Sox have been balling this year. Craig Kimbrell, I think.
How old is he now?
Not sure. He has been in the league for a while.
Yeah, I remember when he got traded to the Red Sox, 5 years ago.
Yes. I think he's 36 or 37, maybe. I'm not sure. But he has, I'm pretty sure, a 0.49 ERA.
Jesus.
He's
a closer, right?
Yeah. And he's lights out, ridiculous. The White Sox have been really good, especially hitting this year. They're they have 2 young guys, Tim Anderson and the catcher, what's his name? Whatever. And they're just home run hitters, just cool young guys that are making the White Sox a real team this year. Chris Bryant to the Giants. It's crazy that the Cubs really just dealt their entire team. I mean, it's just wild. I mean, they were going nowhere, and they had a lot of good players that are they just don't have pitching, so they just dealt their entire team. Chris Bryant to the Giants. Giants are ahead in that division, and wow, I couldn't believe that they were ahead of the division. Now they got Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Who knows where they might go this year. Berrios to the Blue Jays. The Mets were trying to get Berrios, I think. Price was way too high. I think the Blue Jays paid a lot for that. That's another division that's stacked. It's got the Rays, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and the Yankees.
Wow.
Rays actually, I think, are ahead in that division now. And yeah, the Yankees are not currently in the playoffs. Staying in the division, Schwarber to the Red Sox. I think they could have done better. Schwarber's, he's a good player. He's been very hot, hitting a lot of home runs. I think he's hurt now, though, but I don't know. I think they could have done better, or at least gotten more. Maybe. I don't know where they're going to put him. I thought they already had a pretty good outfield. But let's move into the NBA. NBA draft. It was a big week for the NBA.
Huge week.
Who do you think won the draft?
Lakers. Obviously they didn't. I don't think they even drafted anyone. They signed some guys who were undrafted from this class. But when you can get a guy like Russell Westbrook, like, you automatically win the draft. Even though they only gave up one pick, I still count that as like winning the draft because it was moved on draft night. And
who do you know what was in that deal?
Yeah, it was KCP, Kuzma, Montrezl
Oh,
Harrell.
Kentavious Caldwell.
Yeah, and first round pick, this year's first round pick.
Just for him?
21, yeah. Well, because his value is not high.
Oh, really?
Because he has a huge contract.
Oh.
So, the Wizards are pretty, like, it's really hard to move them.
So how can the Lakers take it? Don't they already have AD and LeBron? I feel like those are both max contract guys.
Yeah, because Kuzma's on a, probably $13 million a year. Pope's on $13 million a year.
Is that bad?
No,
not
but
a lot?
It is. But
It's
it
a lot.
adds up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it adds up. Those three add up to Westbrook's contract. And so then you can match it and trade for each other.
That's who you're trading. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate. I think the Lakers are another the new version of the Nets.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much why.
So you're a Laker fan now.
Yes.
Because you're a Russell Westbrook fan.
Yes.
That's just. I would say bandwagon, but you have stuck with Russell Westbrook. I don't like the Lakers at all. I
don't mind it.
You think they're gonna win it all?
It depends who they get tonight, which is free agency. But obviously, spacing is like a big thing, and they only have 4 guys on contract, I think, right now. So the roster is nowhere near complete. But Westbrook, LeBron, and AD are all guys who attack the rim. None of them can really shoot that well. LeBron's probably the best shooter of the 3, and he's still not a great shooter.
He's better than AD?
Yeah. AD shot 26% from 3 this year. But AD can still shoot the ball a little bit. But you need to get shooters around them. And from what I've heard, they are going to get shooters. So I think if they get shooters and they mix well, I think they will, I honestly think the Nets would beat them in the NBA Finals. Assuming both teams stay healthy.
Injuries, yeah. I think
that's the biggest thing for the Lakers.
If both teams stay healthy.
You have to stay healthy.
So if both teams stay healthy, you think the Nets win?
I think it will go to 6 or 7. I think it'd go either way. Obviously, when it gets to that time, I'll tell you the Lakers are winning it. But as of right now, I'd say the Nets would win it. I think they have a better big 3.
All right. Well, who else? I heard the Rockets did well.
Yeah.
Did they trade up to get? They got the second pick.
Yeah, they already had that, but they traded up.
How? They did well.
Right? No, they did not. They were terrible.
Was it Russell Westbrook?
No, they didn't have Westbrook. Westbrook was on the Wizards.
Who do they have?
They have no one. They traded Harden and Westbrook. So
I forgot.
They were pretty terrible, but.
So they own this is the second pick?
Yeah.
That was theirs?
Yep.
They were the second worst team in the league?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, not necessarily.
Right, lottery.
They were definitely.
So they did well. Who else did they get other than Jalen Green? I heard Jalen Green's gonna be a stud.
Couldn't really tell you honestly. I think they ended up trading up for another good pick, but I don't really know besides Jalen Green. But Jalen Green is really good, so
yeah,
that's a W.
All right. I guess with that we'll get into gem or bust version of the NBA. So the first overall pick was the Pistons, and they got Cade Cunningham. I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue. Wait, who's?
He went to Oklahoma State.
Right. Yep. No, I know him.
Yeah,
I don't know Jalen Green though.
Jalen Green. Okay. Yeah, well, he went to the G League, and nobody's really watching the G League like that.
Right. We'll get back to that. Okay. So gem or bust, Cade Cunningham.
Gem. He's a really good playmaker. He can score the ball, and he also I'm not sure how many assists he averaged, but at Oklahoma State they didn't really have like shooters.
Right.
So I think him in the NBA will go like really well. I think he'll be a superstar in the future.
Because there is a lot of shooters.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he was their star, the Oklahoma State star. Yeah. Oklahoma State was.
He's big.
Dangerous
also.
last year. They beat a lot of good teams, made a lot of good upsets. I agree. I'm gonna go Gem. This kid looks. I think this kid is the real deal because Oklahoma State was the real deal, and he. I feel like they kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And if he was the leader, then yeah. Jalen Green to the Rockets.
I gotta go Gem again. I mean, he was in the G League. He's big and athletic. He's kind of like Bradley Beal, but more athletic and a little taller, I believe. He can score from mid-range, 3-point. He's a really good finisher. And he's not like a great defender, but, I mean, he's really athletic, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if he turned into a great defender. And he's said himself that his biggest focus coming in the league is becoming a great defender. And I think this class is really good, and it's hard to say bust for any of these guys. The only guy I would say bust for in the top 10 was I forget his name. This dude that the Thunder took at 6. You see that picture of his weaknesses?
No. Is it like really big? Let's see.
Really funny.
So who did they got? Josh Giddey?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Josh Giddey. He's like this European guy or something.
Oh, I did see this. The guy from Australia.
Yeah.
I was like, I watched that pic and I was like,
Yeah. I didn't know him.
I was like, is this a Kristaps Porzingis?
Yeah, they showed his weaknesses, and it was like ball handling, shooting, passing, like literally every aspect.
Yeah, no. I actually do remember this pic. I remember the guys who were like doing the draft.
Yeah.
Obviously, they compliment every player, and so they were like, "I love this pick at 6. I mean, this guy's out of Australia. He's 6'8". I mean, just great size. Like they didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
good pick, I guess. But so I guess he's a bust.
Yeah.
But Jalen Green's a gem.
Yep. Gem.
I don't know much about Jalen Green, so he went to the
G
G League Ignite.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
That's
so how old is he?
basically-
Is he 19?
Yeah.
He
like
just
18,
paid 1
19.
year there,
Yeah.
and then went. I feel like that shouldn't be a thing. I feel like
I
there's
love it.
no
I mean,
point
if
in
they weren't-
requiring kids to go to college if they're just gonna go straight to the G League Ignite. What's the difference between college and the G League Ignite? I mean, what's the difference between coming out of high school and coming out of the G League?
You get a year against professionals. I guess they don't want guys that young. I mean, I agree. I think guys should just be allowed to come from high school.
I thought it was that they wanted guys to go to college, but I guess not.
Yeah, I guess clearly not. I mean, for the kids, I understand it because you're also then playing against professionals. And Jalen Green averaged
Right.
like 20.
No, I get it
points.
from the kids'
Yeah,
perspective.
and you get paid.
Oh, you get
Yeah,
paid?
yeah, you have a
I mean,
contract.
that's just who's not. That's gonna turn in college basketball might be headed.
That's what everyone was saying. But
That's
I mean, now
tough.
that they can get paid off their name, and
Everybody's
stuff.
gonna go. Oh, good point. NIL. They're gonna get more exposure in college basketball and therefore make more money.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think that
that'll
G
save
League-
it.
I think that G League thing will kind of die off.
Are you a fan? Oh, actually, let's get into that now. NIL. Fan? Gem or bust? NIL. You think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
NIL. Sorry.
Yeah, like that players can profit off their name, image, and likeness
It's awesome. I think they should have been doing this.
in every sport.
Every sport. Yeah.
I totally disagree.
Are you kidding me?
Yes,
Why?
because this, especially for college football, which I watch a lot, I think college football, and Tim Tebow will agree. Tim Tebow was the greatest player in college football, arguably in college football history, and the greatest player in college football for a long time when he played. And he never made money, and he said he didn't want to, and it was because the game is about it. College football, and people watch it, and it's different than NFL football because it's a team sport, and it's kids who are like playing as a team.
Yeah.
When you put this factor into the game where they can profit off
I
themselves,
see what you're saying.
they're not gonna go out of bounds at the 1 yard line. You know what I mean? And save
Yeah.
the score. They're gonna score the extra touchdown and get the stats and get the advertisement. It takes the team thoughts out of the game.
I can see what you're saying, but doesn't
And
this,
same thing for college basketball.
Doesn't this get NCAA football back?
What do you?
Video game.
Oh, that's true. But
I mean, I'll take that any day.
that's a good point.
But
Other than that, like
I mean-
real sports,
I mean, if you're playing football at a high level, and people are selling your jersey at a store, and paying for that, and you're getting nothing, like that.
but you're not getting nothing. If
Yeah,
you're
you
a
are.
good college football player, you, not only are you getting paid to come to the
That's true.
school.
That is not. No, that's. A
We
really
can
good
talk about it a
point.
different time. Not only are you getting paid to come to school, but in scholarships, in training, in meals, in gym plans, in like the scholarship money that it actually pays to go to school for housing, for everything they get, it's millions. Just for the scholarship
I don't
and
know
paying for everything.
millions. I don't know about millions.
I mean, it's
But,
4
I mean,
to
there's
5
still-
years.
There's still like
3 to 5 years
there's
of
still literally if you're
paying
that
for
good,
everything.
then people are
paying for
buying.
their lives.
It's not like every
3
guy
to 5
is
years.
getting paid now,
No, but the
It's
good
just the
players.
best
Not,
guys.
not every guy is getting NIL.
and they deserve it
because not
because they're
and
the
every
best.
player is good enough to get advertisements.
Yeah,
Only the good players.
Yep.
And only the good players are getting paid.
which is what I love. If people
But
are literally selling your jersey, like, and just making money off of your name, like, and you're not getting any payments, like that's absurd.
I get that argument. I just can't.
I understand what you're saying. Like, it from a football aspect, it kind of takes away a little bit from the game.
In any sport, you're telling me in college basketball, like especially in like March Madness, the team like that's what happens to like maybe there will be like more upsets and stuff, but that's what happens when like a team is like Loyola Chicago last year or UCLA, who's a team that's like not that great, who's like comes out of nowhere and blows everybody out the door. It's because those players who are going first, like Jalen, what's the kid? Suggs?
Jalen Suggs.
Jalen Suggs.
Sixth, I think.
Fifth, right? Like they're not gonna want to win as much because they don't really care because they're already making money.
I mean,
They have to go to school for a year, and now they're just making money off. Like,
I guess so, but I mean, they're still gonna. I disagree. I still think they'll be playing just as hard because they're trying to get to that next level. They're not going to be satisfied with making a little bit of money.
it's not about playing hard. It's about playing as a team. It's
They'll be
about,
playing as a
especially in basketball, because in basketball you can be selfish. You can try to, like when you're a great player, you can probably just drive to the hoop, but you will also probably, if you start passing the ball and getting everybody involved, you'll get a better shot.
I don't think that will happen. I think they'll still be playing their games, and if you're really that good, like a guy like Jalen Suggs or like Cade Cunningham, then you'll just make money off of it, like people buying your jersey. I don't think that has much of an effect of how selfish you're gonna be. Like padding your stats a little bit, like what's that gonna do?
It's not really about what it does to the team. It's about, well, it's not really about what it does. I don't know. I feel like it's just not. It's promoting selfishness
I could see what you're
from
saying.
these young college athletes who
Well,
are
we'll
supposed
see,
to be playing
we'll see
as a
how
team.
it works out, but I think
We'll see how it works out. Right. All right. So with that, we'll get into the NFL. Nothing really happened in the NFL. It's coming soon. I'm excited. Oh, let's go over Well, okay. Let's do gem or bust.
Okay.
So we did Lawrence and what's his name last week,
The Jets QB.
right? And now we're doing Trey Lance and Kyle Pitts, the picks 3 and 4. Trey Lance to the 49ers. Gem or bust?
I say gem. I mean, he has 1 interception in his college football career. He makes great decisions. He's huge. I think gem.
I disagree. I mean, you cannot possibly like judge a guy that's. He went
I
to
know what you're gonna say.
the FCS. I mean, it's not real. It's if he's that good, why doesn't he come to the FBS? Why doesn't he go to a Power 5 school if he's that good?
I mean, because they obviously didn't think he was that good going into college.
I just think
they
it's
proved them wrong. I mean, bro, it's not like he's separating himself from those other QBs that are playing like alongside him and like against them. Like if the FCS was that trash, there'd be more guys getting like
What?
drafted like that, like up there like that.
well.
It's not like they're playing like literally like
I
bums.
guess.
Like, they're playing college football.
That's true. It's D1. But I mean, well, I guess you got to make the BYU kids argument for this, but I mean, it's different when it's FBS to FCS. I think Trey Lance is going to be a bust in the NFL because he's not prepared. If you don't play these college athletes who now are like crazy, like built and just they're freaks of nature, and you're playing like you're not going to be prepared for the NFL. I guess I get the leadership. I get like the size. He's got all the talent in the world, but he hasn't played against real talent. I think.
I think that's kind of fair, I guess.
So I think bust. I don't think he's going to do very well on the 49ers. Kyle Pitts to the Falcons. Go.
Oh, wait. Where did Trey Lance... Oh, 49ers?
49ers.
Is he starting there over that other dude?
Is there another dude?
I mean, they had, whoever their quarterback was. I forget his name.
Jimmy G?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still there.
I think he's a free agent, actually.
Yeah, he might be.
Kyle Pitts, I think gem. I mean, just watching him, he's crazy.
This one's interesting to me because I think gem for Kyle Pitts, but it's very... I don't like how people keep advertising him as a tight end. I don't think he's a tight end.
He's a wide receiver?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
He's wide receiver size. He's too skinny to be a tight end. He's like super fast, just as fast as any receiver. He's built like Julio Jones, and he's not built like any tight end. I don't think he's very good at blocking. Look, the dude is an absolute beast receiving tight end, but I think putting him at tight end in the NFL, if they put him at tight end, they might do some weird things where they scheme around it and make him get in the slot or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, he's a wide receiver, and putting him at tight end is not going to end well. I think he's going to get probably destroyed by NFL defensive ends who are coming at him if he tries to block.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it for the NFL. The Olympics have been going on. USA. I don't know. Have you watched the Olympics?
Not at all. I watched like I follow like the basketball scores. I saw like the USA woman won like the 3v3 woman. You know how
in
they're
basketball?
doing the 3v3?
I don't. Or I've heard they're in basketball, right?
Yeah.
They're doing a 3v3 and a 5v5.
Yeah, I think they lost in the 5v5. Like they didn't win gold.
USA women?
Yeah, but they won the 3v3 gold.
Are USA women traditionally good at basketball? Do we have a traditional...
I've never...
Like, USA women's soccer are very common,
I mean, with
known
all
for
due
dominating.
respect, I've never, like, heard of,
Watched.
like, European women basketball.
Players?
Yeah.
Well, what about the girl on Notre Dame? Who was the star? Wasn't she...
Skylar Diggs?
No. The woman...
Arike?
The girl... Yes, Arike.
She's in the WNBA.
I know. She's not American, is she?
Oh. Dude, I'm tripping.
What?
I don't know, for some reason I was like, they're in the WNBA, they're playing for America. But I was
No.
I was talking about, like, are there, like, European, like, leagues? Or, like, what?
In women's basketball?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are.
Alright, whatever. Well, I would assume that the USA is probably pretty dominant then. But, I mean, I guess they clearly just lost.
Yeah. So they won the 5v5, lost the 3v3?
Yeah. And I've been following, like, the scores of, like, the men's thing. I think they're starting to kind of, like, blow some teams out. But
Men's USA?
yeah, but they play
Basketball?
at, like, 6 a.m. because of the time.
Oh,
Like,
in Tokyo?
yeah.
Well, they live there now.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I mean, they're used to it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
6 a.m. our time, you're saying? Which would be night for their time?
I'm just saying, whenever I wake up, they've already played.
Oh, right. Yeah, I barely see... I think the same thing for every sport. I barely see any of the sports live. I turn on the Olympic channel, and I don't know if what I'm watching is live or a repeat from, like, last night.
Yeah.
Or whenever it happened. But USA is... including today, I believe the USA is at 61 and China's at 59 total medals. So they're catching up. USA still leads in total medals. China leads in gold medals. I think we're not even second, maybe, or something, but they have 24, maybe more now, gold medals. China's having themselves a good Olympics. I feel like they are probably a good team every year. I don't remember from last Olympics.
I don't know if they're even in basketball.
China?
Yeah.
Like they didn't make it?
I don't know if they did. If they did, they're not any good.
Right. Suni Lee won the gold for the women's all-around gymnastics. She's the 5th straight American woman to do so. That's crazy because it's every 4 years. So like the last 20 years have just been American women. That's great. I saw that. It was sick. Suni Lee is awesome. So Simone Biles won it 4 years ago or 5 years ago because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
She, I think she had mental health issues and has not competed yet.
She's the one who like didn't want
She's
to do
like
the interviews.
The superstar.
She's become like crazy on the internet because she didn't want to do the interviews. Is that her?
No, that's Naomi Osaka.
Oh, okay.
No, she.
She had like family members with like cancer. Is that her? You don't know?
No. She was feeling pressure and anxiety.
Okay.
Because she was like the star, and she hasn't competed, and I'm not a fan of that. I've heard other people's perspective that it's like super, like these people train. It's so different than any other sport because these people train just for this event. Like they train their entire lives. They train like for years. Like 4 years in between events, and they just train super hard every day just for this event. And I don't know how exactly gymnastics work if there's like meets that are not the Olympics, but I'm not a fan of this. What do you think?
I'm fine with it. I mean, at the end of the day, if it were me, and it was like, and I was doing that, like I would just kind of just like smack myself in the face and be like, what am I doing? Like, this is what I trained for.
Right.
I'm playing. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I got no idea what's going on in her life.
Right.
And what's going on in her head. And
right.
I wouldn't do it, but I'm not.
I mean,
I'm
being the
not gonna be mad at her.
superstar, like, representing the country, being like this crazy name, I get the pressure, I get the anxiety, but then again, you are the superstar.
Yeah. Like, imagine if, I mean,
You
I
should
kinda get
be
what you're saying
competing.
now, because imagine if, like, before the NBA Finals, LeBron was like, nah, this is just too much for me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that.
I would be really,
But
like, upset with
except
LeBron.
the season was 3 years.
Yeah.
And it was the NBA championship took 3 years to get there.
Yeah. Okay.
And 5 years
I
in
don't
this case.
like that then, but I mean, whatever.
Right. But Suni Lee steps up and wins the gold. Other Americans, Katie Ledecky, greatest female swimmer of all time, dominating. Caleb Dressel has won 5 gold medals this year. Another swimmer, our best male swimmer, excellent. He would probably be one of the greatest swimmers of all time if it wasn't for Michael Phelps. Zverev wins the gold in tennis. Okay, the Olympic tennis, I feel like, is totally invalid. Zverev's a great player, but I feel like it's totally invalid. I don't think Nadal played. I don't think Federer played. And not only that, it's 3 sets when it's usually 5 sets.
Why is that?
I don't know. That's just the Olympics rules. I actually do know. It's because the Olympics don't last very long like a tournament would last, so they need to play like every day. And they can't like wait, like playing 5 sets, you're not going to be able to play like the next day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Olympics must be tough. You got to compete like every day, like full force, like what you've all been training for. Anxiety and all that stuff. I get it. But yeah, I don't think this is very valid. Zverev, though, great performance, wins the gold in tennis. Let's move on to college football. Let's start with Nick Saban, who just got a contract, I think, an hour ago.
Huge.
And he is making, I think, nearly $10 million a year.
That's crazy.
He's making $11 million, I believe, in the final.
Would you say he's worth that?
Nick Saban? I mean, it's hard to know. I mean, a coach getting paid $10 million seems ridiculous. And it is, compared to, like, even pro coaches don't make this money.
Yeah.
But he is, I mean,
well,
look what he's done.
The thing is, to me, is if it was possible for them to give him less money, than I would have. But I mean,
somebody else would have gave him.
if the decision was give him $10 million or let him go to a different team, then you're giving him $10 million.
Yes, you're giving him basically whatever he wants.
He owns you in that situation.
Yes.
So I wonder how that went down. I wonder if he was like...
Yep. Alabama lost a ton of players this year, which we'll come back to that. First, Texas and Oklahoma moved to the SEC. They're not moving this year. I did a lot of research on this last night. I think they're going to be moving by 2025. Maybe they might not move for another 4 years.
So if Notre Dame tried to move conferences, would it take that long also? Like
yes,
why? Okay.
I think so.
It's just like a long process.
I have no clue how it works. I don't think a lot of people do. But I think it's just a very long process.
Might have to do with like scheduled games and stuff.
Yes, I think it's a lot with that. A lot with like contract time with like networks who broadcast their games and contracts with the Big 12 and everything. That's why I don't think Notre Dame's ever going to move.
Because they also have
we are making so much money.
Yeah, and they have so many
Notre
games
Dame
scheduled with teams because they don't have like. It's not like a situation with like a conference team where they can only schedule a few games. Like Notre Dame has like a lot of games scheduled for the next like 5 years with like random teams, and it's hard to just like cancel those.
Right.
Because you're joining a conference because you can't have that many like independent games.
Yeah. So what do you think of this? I think so. This is for all sports. I'm hearing.
Really?
All sports. I guess Notre Dame's the only team. Because Notre Dame, I know, is in multiple different conferences in multiple different sports.
Like the Big Ten in hockey.
ACC in basketball. We're an independent football team.
Yeah.
I don't think Notre Dame would move conferences. I think if the Big Ten wanted to stay as a competitive conference, I think those two were kind of the only two conferences that were really like had a bunch of good teams. They need another team though, because I think if the Big Ten wants to stay competitive as a conference, they should add a team like Notre Dame, and they should try really hard to do so. Because this Texas Oklahoma thing is just crazy at this point.
I think Texas is going to be a joke in the SEC in football. Like I think they'll be pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, Texas is a pretty good program.
In the whatever conference, where were they in the Pac-12?
In the Big 12.
Big 12, they would go. What would they go? They'd go like 7-5, 8-4 every year.
But they're just great recruiting. It's great coaching.
I don't know what their team will be like. I guess by then, but I would.
Oh right, by then.
Be a joke.
By then. I think I agree though. If they went in now, Texas would probably be very low in the conference rankings. But yeah, I hear also there are rumors that Kansas is going to the Big Ten.
That's just like so weird.
That's crazy. Not for football. It doesn't matter at all for football because Kansas sucks in football, but in basketball,
that's crazy.
It's the best. It's like if that is finalized, it's kind of SEC is just dominates football and Big Ten just dominates basketball.
I think ACC.
I think if anything, they should be leveling out these conferences and not adding the good teams to the good conferences.
ACC has something to say though on basketball.
Yep.
I wouldn't just count them out. I mean, they have Duke,
Virginia,
Notre Dame, North Carolina.
Good every couple of years.
Don't even
maybe.
But yeah,
the Big Ten, Michigan's gonna win a championship at some point soon. Yeah, they're the real deal.
Really good.
Kansas, if they move there, that's crazy. Illinois was really good this year. Ohio State this year, they had like 1 million, 1 season, 2 seeds, whatever. So